I'm Sofia Bernardi, mindset and business coach, supporting ambitious new and rising coaches to master their mindset, create an aligned and profitable strategy, and grow a six-figure business using the Rising Coach method. I built a multi-six-figure business by the age of 24, and in this podcast, I will teach you the psychology, strategy, and energetics to do the same. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to Rising Coaches with Sofia Bernardi. I'm so excited you're here. Today we're talking about something that has come highly requested from a lot of you. So I wanted to dive deep on this topic to really support anyone that is bringing in leads and sales calls, but they're not converting on them, right? So a process that I teach to my clients is a process called the ACT method, which stands for attract, convert, and transform. And when people are attracting people, that's amazing when you're meeting people and you have high quality leads in your space. So it's one thing to bring people in, but it's a whole other to actually convert them. That's why there's actually a lot of people that have so many followers on social media, but not making very much money. You can make so much money with very little followers. Like I made well and truly over six figures with less than 1,000 followers on Instagram. And I still to this day, at the time of recording this, do not have many followers. And I've made well and truly over $500,000. And I know people that have 30,000 plus followers or even, have tens of millions of views on TikTok and things like that and are not making even a fraction of that money because leads is not enough on its own. You need to have a process to actually convert people. And you can have a huge audience, but if it's not a quality audience, then that also doesn't matter, right? So I want you to know that you don't need to have this huge following to convert. You need to have a high quality following and you need to know how to convert people. And I'm going to be talking today about some of the reasons why you might not be converting on your sales calls so that you can fix it, so you can make more money and then therefore impact more people in your business. So if you're ready to dive in, let's do this. So number one of the reasons why you might not be converting on sales calls is your mindset. If you do not believe in yourself or your offer or in the person you're talking to on the call, it's going to be very hard to support them, build rapport with them, handle objections, show up confidently and in authority, right? And all of those things are so crucially important when it comes to having sales calls, right? The second thing is not having enough rapport prior and during the call. And what I mean by rapport is like building, a relationship and a strong connection with someone. If the energy is off between you two, it doesn't matter how magical your words are after that point. If there's no rapport, they're not going to buy from you. They need to resonate with you, relate to you, feel magnetized towards you. And so you need to be present on the calls, not in your head about thinking about the price and your program and whether they're going to say yes or no, or being in fear and scarcity or wanting to get the call over with for whatever reason. You need to be in a place of presence and intentionality and truly actually wanting to help this person, right? And so the best way to do this is just to be a real human. When people have sales calls with me and sign up with me, often what people say to me is they couldn't believe how casual I was. I was leaned back. I was sometimes in tracksuit. Like I just am so casual and cool, calm and collected. And I have not always been like that, by the way. It's a process I've really learned as I built my own confidence up, which is why you'll probably hear me talk a lot about confidence because it typically comes back to that. But I'm very casual now because I found the more leaned back I am, not necessarily physically, but just energetically, like non-attached and high energy and, low attachment, the more safety there is on the call. And, when you're moving your hands and matching and mirroring them and, matching the tone of voice and connecting with them and just being a real human instead of reading this rigid, masculine, outdated script, like people just, it's a breath of fresh air because people are so used to being sold to immediately and going through this step-by-step process on a sales call. And don't get me wrong, I provide a script to my clients on how to structure calls because if you've never done it before, of course you need guidance, of course you need support. But more importantly than providing the script, I'm actually training my clients the psychology and the reasons why behind each step of the sales call process. Because when you understand the psychology and the process behind it, you're able to then create it in a way that truly resonates with you, your personality, your wording, your goals, your desires, your target audience, and things like that. And so no script is going to help you with building rapport. You just need to be a real human and do that, right? So make sure you're being a real human on the calls. Like, just chill out, guys. And like, before you get into asking all these serious questions and bringing up your PowerPoint presentation and all those things, like, just be real. Hey, how was your day? What's been happening today? Or love your background, like love your hair. Wow, you're so beautiful. Like, literally just anything that builds rapport and is genuine, right? It's so important to just be real like that. It goes a long way when it's like such a rare thing to see these days. Okay, so number 1 is mindset. Number 2 is not having enough rapport prior or during the call. And number 3 is the investment. And now I'm just going to make a massive disclaimer here, because honestly, more often than not, the price is never really the real objection or the real problem, especially if you qualified them or not. But sometimes that is a real objection. And some coaches unfortunately have learnt processes from, really masculine, outdated processes where it's like, don't take no for an answer, corner them, make them pay on the phone, do this, do that. And it's like, oh my God, like sometimes people are actually in a financial predicament and they cannot afford this investment. They didn't see this coming, and that's okay. Also, interrupting this podcast episode to talk to you about my program, Rise to Coach. If you're ready to make money as a life coach or service provider, I want to invite you to join my Rise to Coach program, where I teach you how to make your first sale, which is the hardest part of building any business. It's risk-free. You either love it or I give you your money back. Just head over to sofiarosebernardi.com/rise to coach. We'll see you inside. Also, it's often not the case, especially when you pre-qualified them, but sometimes that is the genuine case. And if you can't offer an extended payment plan or a lower offer that, might be more affordable for them, then, sometimes you do just have to learn to let people go, because sometimes that is a real objection, right? Obviously, we want to prevent attracting people that don't have the financial resources, to invest. Like, we want to avoid having them book the calls in the first place, and how you do that is by pre-qualifying them before you even offer the link for them to book the call. And there's a whole process to that. And there's pre-qualifying questions that people should answer before booking the call. So, for example, my sales calls happen through Calendly, and there's 9 or 10 questions that people have to answer in order to book the call. And that really supports me to see where that person's at. And they're probably not going to book the call if they read all those questions and they're like, wow, I'm not supposed to be here, right? That's the whole purpose. We want to repel certain people that aren't, ready and willing to invest in themselves. And if you can do the right thing and really attract people properly and qualify people in the messenger conversation or through your marketing of, who this is for and who this is not for kind of thing, by being specific and niched with your languaging, this objection won't be, a big problem. But it sometimes is, and that's why I wanted to mention it, right? And so that's definitely a thing. Then the next thing I really want to talk about is a reason why you might not be converting on sales calls is if you're not able to handle their objections, right? And I don't mean that you need to be, having 10 pages worth of metaphors to handle people's objections. Again, I was taught that when I first started business, and it just felt so wrong. When in my life would I do those things? And sometimes it is relevant. Sometimes it is supportive. Sometimes it is necessary. But if, again, you understand the person, you empathize with the person, you're being real on the phone, and going back to confidence, if you have confidence in your offer, in your strategy, and all of those sorts of things, and you truly believe in them, that's when you'll naturally be able to handle their objections, right? Of them saying they're not ready yet or whatever. If you truly want the best for them, if you truly believe in yourself, and you know that your program can and will solve their problems, then you'll be able to handle the objections, because you're coming from a place of really wanting to serve their higher self. You want them to step into their higher self, and letting them say no due to fear and doubt, from a disingenuine, objection, you don't want to lose people from that. You want to be able to know what's really support them to make the best decision from them and not let their fear take over. And again, that's not coming from a place of let's corner them and things like that, not at all. But there are just some ways that are better than others to do this. And when you really, really believe in yourself, you really believe in them, and you believe in your offer, you will know what to say to support them to handle their objections. I teach my clients how to handle objections because it is really important. There are a lot of objections like, it's not the right time, I don't have enough money, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, I'm not sure if I can do this, all of this sort of stuff. And if you understand the psychology and the fears and doubts of your target person, you'll be able to support them. So it's really important to be able to answer, those objections and be prepared for them to come up, and be able to answer any question about why your program is the way it is, right? And when you truly believe in it, you'll be able to answer it. Like, you could sit me down right now and ask me any question you want about my mastermind, and I'll be able to explain to you why it is the way it is, because it's so intentionally thought out and created to best serve my target audience. It's very, very intentional. There is a reason there are 2 calls a week. There's a reason there's monthly planning sessions. There's a reason there's one-on-one Voxer support. There's a reason why there's check-in calls. There's a reason why there's, a 250-page manual and virtual events and an online portal with videos to go along with the manual, and a Facebook community and accountability buddies and all of these things. There is a reason for it all. There's also a reason for the price point and all of these sorts of things to best support my target audience, right? So you want to be really sold on your offer to be able to handle the objections that will come their way. And last but not least, I wanted to chat into, again, really just not believing in your offer. If you've been told to create this 6-week program from, some coach, and they've created the whole thing for you, and it's not coming from your heart or soul, and, you're just not really believing and understanding the power behind it, it's going to be really hard to sell. In fact, so many people go on sales calls and they ask all these questions and then they never make an offer because they just get so nervous. But if you truly believed in your offer, you would be making offers on the sales calls, and you'd be able to speak into, the objections and anything that comes up with confidence. And you'd actually be able to prevent a lot of objections from being able to speak into your offer and, really serve the person you're on the phone with. So just to recap, the main reasons why you might not be converting on your sales calls is 1, your mindset, 2, not enough rapport, 3, sometimes the investment is the case, 4, not being able to handle the objections, and 5, not believing in your offer enough. These are the 5 most reoccurring reasons that I find that, people aren't converting, and definitely myself in the past. And now that I, have a strong confidence in myself, in my target audience, and in my offer, it makes every single step of sales calls enjoyable, and it's the best. And I have a really high conversion rate now. It's over 50% out of all my calls, which is so amazing. And that's because I've overcome these things and really built that unstoppable confidence in all of those areas. So if you're wanting to improve your sales skills, you're wanting to learn how to not only attract people, but actually convert them into high-paying, high-quality clients that re-sign, give you referrals, and become raving fans, then I would like to invite you to jump on a sales call with me. Go to sofiarosebernardi.com/chat. I would love to have a chat with you to see where you're at in your life and your business right now, where you want to be, and then we can build a 3-step roadmap on what's the next best steps for you to actually get to where it is you want to be based on the gap that comes up there. And if I can help you and if we're a great match, we can absolutely talk about that at the end. And all you need to do is just go to sofiarosebernardi.com/chat, book in the call at your own, convenient time. And I just can't wait to serve and support you so that together we can rise as coaches. Have the best day, my loves, and I will speak to you next week. Bye. Are you ready to create aligned, scalable results in your coaching business? If so, I'd love to work with you. I support my clients through my signature programs, Rise to Coach, which is for new coaches wanting to sign their first clients, and the Rising Coaches Mastermind to scale to consistent 10K months. I'm currently offering free 30-minute clarity calls where I'll help you build a 3-step roadmap depending on where you're starting at. Book yours in now at sofiarosebernardi.com/chat. Inspired by this episode? Let's build your coaching business to $10,000 months plus create more impact and abundance than you ever knew possible. Book a free clarity call with me now at sofiarosebernardi.com/chat.